Today we're going to be talking about parallel lines. And what I want you guys to do is I want you guys to use either your book or the Open Math Reference website to complete the first few pages of notes, which is a bunch of definitions. And I have the link for the website at the top of the page, which has the video on it. The first set of definitions, okay, make sure in your notes you have all of these words with the definitions with them. And again, you can use your book or that open reference website. So at this point, again, you want to pause the video and you want to make sure you have the definition for all these terms in your notes. Okay, after you've written those past definitions, now again, use either that open math reference website or a textbook to define each one of these special angle pairs. And then once you have a definition, I want you to list each special angle pair from the picture. So meaning with corresponding angles. Now I'm not going to give you what corresponding angles are, but I'm going to give you an example of what you're going to list. You're going to have the definition for corresponding angles. And then you're going to look at this picture and you're going to say, okay, corresponding angles are angles 3 and 5. So you'd write angles 3 and 5 there. Now 3 and 5 are not corresponding angles, okay? But that's an example of what you would write. You'd name every special angle pair that's in this picture over here. Okay, so we have a theorem that says if two parallel planes are cut by a third plane, so plane X and plane Y are parallel, then their lines of intersection are parallel. So if plane X is parallel to plane Y, then L is parallel to N. Because it makes sense that L is in plane X and N is in plane Y. When two planes intersect, their intersection is a line. So therefore L and N are also in Z. So they are coplanar. They're in the same plane and they never intersect because they're in parallel planes. Okay, use the picture at the left to answer each one of the questions. So we have name all lines parallel to KL. So KL is right here. Now for these types of questions, we're going to assume that this is a box. So PG would be one line that is parallel. Notice how I'm putting a little line symbol over it. MJ and HN. All three of those lines are parallel to KL. Name all lines perpendicular to HN. HN is down here. So my parallels, or my perpendiculars, since it's a box, GH. PN. JH. And MN. Okay, all lines that are skew with GH. Now GH is right here. So GH, skew, they are not parallel, but they're lines that are in other planes that don't intersect GH. MN is one of them because MN and GH are not in the same plane, and MN is never going to intersect because it's going up and down versus GH, which is going left and right. And same thing with LP. And then name a plane parallel to G, H, N, and P, and technically I should have a P in there. Our parallel plane, think of it again about as a box. So I have the bottom of the box, a plane parallel is KLMJ. Notice how I named that. I started with K and I went either clockwise or counterclockwise. So KLMJ. Okay, now part of this is challenging because we need to name two lines and the transversal that forms each one of the pairs of angles. I think that it's hard sometimes for students to pick out the lines and then versus the transversal. So let me draw a little line in here. So this is going to be, on the left is going to be our lines, and on the right is going to be our transversal. Okay, so angle 1, and I might even color that in, and angle 3. Now remember, your transversal intersects two or more lines. So which line, I have this angle and this angle. Which line do they share? They share line T, so that's our transversal. And K and L are the two lines that intersect T. 3 and 11. 3 is up here again, and 11. So I have, let me erase the one from the 4. So those are my two angles. What line do they share in common? They share L, that's our transversal. So the other two lines that make up the angles, T and N, are our other two lines. 10 and 11. 10, and let me erase what I had. 11. One angle, the other angle, okay, our transversal is N, and then the other two lines are K and L because those don't make up, those are the other two lines that make up the angle. N is the part that I traced over twice. All right, 6 and 9. So angle 6 and angle 9, well, which line, when I'm tracing through my angles, which line am I tracing over twice? Tracing over K twice. So that's our transversal. N and T are the other two lines. Lastly, 8 and 11. Let me erase. 8. Okay, so angle 8 is there. 11 is there. That angle and that angle, I've traced over L twice, so that's my transversal. The other two lines that make up our angles are T and N. Okay, next example. Finding special pairs of angles where their picture is a little awkward. Okay, UTZ, UTZ. So this angle here, highlight it. Trust me, highlight it for these challenging ones. And VZT. So this angle and this angle, you've highlighted your transversal, your other two lines. Well, that's going to be same side and the interior. So these are same side interiors. Same side of the transversal. And they're in between. So it's same side interior. Okay, next one. VZY. VZY. and STQ. Well, SY is my transversal. I'm talking about this angle here and that angle there. They're on alternate sides of the transversal. One's below, one's above, and they're in the exterior. So these are alternate exterior. Okay, next one. Notice how we keep erasing in between these so that we can highlight them. STR. STR and XTZ. Those angles form an X. Those are vertical angles. I'm just reviewing with you some ones we've already done. All right, the next one. U, T, X, UTX, and T, X, Z, T, X, Z. So this angle and this angle, alternate sides of our transversal, which is RW, and in the interior, so these are alternate interior angles. Last set. RQ, RTQ, RTQ, and T, X, Z. Might be kind of hard for you guys to see those. This angle here and this angle here. One line, our transversal. Those are both above our lines and on the same side of the transversal, so those are corresponding. Okay, so state the special angle pair for each one of the angles. Now there are special angle pairs that come from this section, but also think additional ones that I'm going to have on there are vertical angles. And also, I'm going to ask you guys linear pair. So be careful. You're going to have a lot to choose from. You're also going to have your alternate interior, alternate exterior, same side interior, and corresponding. Okay? So those are going to be all your options for those 6 questions.